Hi, how's it going? In this video, I'm just going to be answering a question that I had yesterday, which was basically what's the best way to get these characters set up and working in your game. So out of the box, I do actually include some blueprint examples, which I would recommend using as a starting point, and that is the master pose examples. And included in the description and in the description of this video will be a link to the Unreal documentation, which has working with modular characters, and this is basically the best practice to use when you're working with multiple skeletal meshes like we are with this pack. So this pack goes and includes examples for the master pose component, but if you want to take this a step further and really up the randomization and the amount of different zombies that you can sort of have for cheap, you want to go forward and use the skeletal mesh merge, which is a C++ function. So that's actually a little bit out of my depth. I haven't tried that out myself, but it does seem to be pretty highly recommended and like it would make a pretty big difference. But at the same time, the master pose component is still a great optimization and is going to work as a great starting point, especially for people who aren't using C++ in their Unreal projects. So yeah, I guess the best thing to do to start with is to look at this first character here. So these zombies, these are all set up using the dismembered limbs, and they sort of work as a starting point for a dismemberment system. So we've got the body and the head here that has an animation assigned to it, and then we have the children for the arms and the legs, and you'll see that all of these don't have any animations assigned to it. There's only one animation driving this whole thing, which is great for multiple reasons. It's cheaper, and it's also a lot easier to deal with in the code because you don't have to worry about assigning animations to everything. You just need to assign the animations to the the one core component that you're relying on here. So if we go to the construction script, you can see it's pretty much exactly like what's on the documentation page, and we have the set master pose component. And for the master bone, I typically will use the biggest part, so either the body or the torso, and that's what I've done here. That's the master bone, and all of the children are set to be the target. So when we apply an animation to one, the animation applies to all of them. So this is really cheap, and this is how you would use it in your game as a starting point. This is great, this is perfectly fine, and this is what Unreal actually recommends outside of the C++ side of things. So if we have a look at one of the zombies with clothing on, it's essentially the same thing. We've got the body, the head, that has the animation applied to it, and then a heap of children that have no animation applied to it at all. And if we go to the construction script, it's the same thing. The body is the master bone, and the clothing and the legs, they're all the targets. So 6 animations reduced down to 1 is a pretty good optimization. And this definitely makes things easier. So what I'll do now is take you through creating this yourself from scratch. So you want to create a new blueprint actor. We'll call this just custom zombie. We'll open that up, and you can sort of just do it however you want. There are these showcase zombies here. These were just included because I made it for the trailer anyway, to show them off in a kind of fancy way. But you know, you can go through here and find out variations that you like. I kind of like the beater with the dark pants and the dark beanie, so I might go for something like that. And instead of making it a dismembered example, I'm just going to make it using the default zombie bodies that are included. So I'm going to use the zombie male 2 because there's a specific case with the beanies that I also wanted to point out that might help some people. So we've dragged in our zombie. That's going to be our sort of main master pose component now. We want it to have the singlet, we want it to have shorts, and we also want to give it a beanie. So we'll clean this up quickly. Yep, looks good. And if we bring this up now, you'll notice if we apply an animation to the zombie male here, we're not going to have a whole lot of luck. So he's animated, he looks cool, but everything else isn't. We'd have to apply the animation to each thing, and one of these things isn't even a skeletal mesh. So this is sort of a special case here, and the beanie. The beanie is a static mesh. It just applies to a socket, and it will follow the socket's transform wherever, and always look like it's attached to his head. So Having static mesh components attached are really cheap, really easy, and you don't really have to worry about optimizing them, but you still have to set them up. So this beanie is meant to be assigned to the head socket. So you click the search, type in head, and boom. Now, the one thing with this is you just need to rotate it and keep in mind that it is aligned for the first zombie's head. So if we turn off the animation here, select this again, all you need to do is just shift it back a tiny bit and bring it down a tiny bit. And if we apply the animation again to the zombie male, you'll see that the beanie is moving with it and everything looks great. So now we just need to set up the master pose component so we can animate the clothes as well. Now again, you can go through and just manually apply the animations, but this is complicated and you will run into syncing issues where things aren't quite lining up, and that gets especially obvious when you're trying to do more complicated dismemberment systems. You'll have weird clipping. So another reason to use the master pose component is it just sort of removes the chance for these weird errors and bugs to occur in the first place. So I didn't mean to select that one, but it doesn't matter. So we've got our master pose component here now. We drag in zombie male. That's going to be our new master bone. And then we want to drag in our singlet and our shorts. And we set them to be targets. So we can drag in our beanie, but again, it's a static mesh. It's not going to let you hook up to this. The master pose is just for skeletal meshes, not for static meshes. So yeah, you just need to assign that to the socket and it's fine from there on out. So we've got the zombie male 2, it's the master bone, and the singlet and the clothes set up. So we just compile that now, and we go to our viewport, and right off the bat now our zombie has the clothes. They don't have any animations assigned, but they're getting the animation from the master bone. And I feel like I've said that word a million times now in this video. But yeah, I really just wanted to sort of go through this in detail and just try and cover any special cases that might have stuck out or tripped up somebody maybe newer to the engine. So yeah, from here on out, this zombie is optimized and ready to go. From here, you would start applying the logic to it for the AI, for the death animations, the physics animations, all of that sort of stuff. And applying all of those things as well is going to be a lot easier when you've only got one animation to worry about. So there's our new zombie, optimized, modular, and ready to be put into your game. So hopefully this video helps. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me or feel free to leave just a question on the Unreal page and I'll get straight back to you. And yeah, that's about it really. Thanks for watching, thanks for buying, and I'll be back soon with the female zombie. The high poly is finished on that now, so still a little while, but progress. Thanks, bye.